Good morning, everybody. Happy Africa Freedom Day to my fellow African family. So I decided to appear here this morning because it's holiday. I'm not going to work today, so just thought to appear here and wish Africa a happy Africa Freedom Day and leave a few thoughts in relation to healing, of course. So an interesting thing for me that took place this particular Africa Day is how last night we saw the news that an icon, music icon, Tina Turner, passed on at age 83. So me being a lover of music, who really loved some of her songs, there's one I really liked. What's Love Got to Do with It? I used to relate with it a lot, when you are broken, you just think love is an illusion. So I used to really like it, her energy, how she used to shake her head, with the hair and the heels. I think maybe she may have been one of the people who influenced me to love heels, because the way she was able to, be all active in heels, it was just wow for me. It was impressive. So me being the curious mind that I am, when I saw the news, I noticed one post on Facebook that was talking about her being a survivor of abuse. Then I got curious. I'm like, oh, could it be why she was singing about love being a second-hand emotion? I remember that's one of the lines in her song, What's Love Got to Do with It, Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? Lyrics mania. So I went to Mr. Google, and what did I find? A story about how when she was married to Ike Turner, she was in an abusive marriage and she had kept it under wraps for a long time. And then I was also curious, like, okay, because the title of the the article that I read was reading Tina Turner still being haunted by abusive marriage. It was an article in March 2021. I need you to take note of this. It was in March 2021 when this article was written. And then like I said, being the curious mind that I am, I was eager to know, when was she married to this Ike Turner? And it turns out they got divorced in 1978. That was like 11 years even before I was born. Imagine. So I was now thinking, this is 2021. So that means this divorce has been was finalized like some 40 plus years ago, if I'm doing my math right. And this is 40 something years later, and she's still being haunted by the trauma of what she went through in that marriage. It means it's stuff she has carried almost all her life, because 40 years really is a lifetime. For some are not even reaching that. And then again, digging deeper, I went back again and I found another interesting article that was talking about how she was from an abusive family, or the parents were abusive, and they even, or abandoned the children when they were young. So me tracing back, it was an interest to actually try to figure out what happened, So, and me, after noticing all these things, it got back to the confirmation of what I've been learning myself in my own healing journey, how trauma goes through generations, right? Like for this particular story of our great music icon, my soul rest in peace, we're noticing that she came from an abusive family. And then she got into the arms of an abusive man, right? And years later, she's still having, negative emotions. She's having a troubled, mindset regards that, because that's where nightmares emanate from. Hey, your mind is troubled somehow. And to me, how I interpreted this is that she may have not really gotten to truly address, you know, the trauma she has been through. You see now what unhealed trauma does. This is what I want to bring our attention to on this Africa Day. In relation to Africa also, I'm getting there. Stay with me. So after noticing this thing, how trauma gets to be a pattern, I got to feel, you know, a need to encourage us regards the journey of healing. Like I mentioned, trauma, if unresolved, will pass on to the next generations and the next and the next, until someone decides to be brave enough, you know, to decide that I'm the one who's going to face this monster in the family and deal with it, so that I don't become the one who passes it on to the next generation. So I will put up a picture made one of these days, which I found, which was you know, showing the scientific aspect of how trauma is actually carried on into the next generation, how it starts in the womb, you know, for us ladies who get pregnant and all that. Those stress hormones, they are said to pass through the placenta, you know, that's the exchange platform for the baby and the mother. They also pass through, and then they become part of the baby's makeup even before that baby is born, you see. So now when it's when the baby comes out, already they have high stress levels because of the hormones they were receiving from the mother. And it's highly likely that a stressed mother cannot truly relate with their child, you know, in a loving manner, in a, you know, nurturing manner. And that's how it worsens the trauma for the child. So you see, the abandonment, probably if you trace back, you'll find that the mother probably grew up with abandonment issues also, and this baby already is caught up with this thing in the mother's womb, and that baby now, they are growing with abandonment issues even from the experience they are getting from their primary caregiver. So now the advantage of knowing these things is that you will then decide for yourself and for your future generations that healing is the way to go, you know. Because as I was, you know, studying this story, I got to thinking even of our continent. Like, as Africa, there's history of how there was enslavement and whatnot, and then I'm looking at our continent. Like now, there's an article, I think I wrote it on Africa Day last year, of how us as Africa, we seem to be the only continent that cannot, you know, bear each other up. I get impressed how if one, you know, say an Asian comes in our town, within a year or two, you'll find there's a suburb, a whole suburb, that's being said to be the Asian's corner. But then take one African to another continent, and you may find they're still the only one who are there in 20 years. Why? Because in Africa we have this mindset that says if you share your useful information, these people will take away your, you know, your source of wealth. A scarcity mindset, that's what I call it. And then when we want to think, where did that come from? Were we not a whole community that just used to know to put our sadza in one huge plate and 8 people are feeding from there? That's how we used to. Oh yes, that's our staple food in Zimbabwe. Zambia, I know they call it nshima because I relate more. South Africa, it must be pap. That's what they call it. Pap. The pronunciation. So we used to be that continent, you know, like that community. From how I grew up, I saw that there was this thing of, you know, sharing as a whole big group. You will just have 2 plates there, one with your nshima, with your salsa there, one with your relish, and you're just eating there. But now we have people who decide to, you know, coop up as small single units, and will be thinking this is to like protect ourselves. Yet in refusing to heal from such mindsets, we are actually causing for our own even future generations to not benefit from what we have managed to break forth into. Say in our family, I'm the one who has made school and gotten a job, and then I decide, no, I'll just be buying them groceries and giving them money. Then maybe I have a younger sister who says, I need help going to school. And then in the mindset of scarcity, thinking this person is here to challenge my position, I may refuse to help her. Yet if I do, that means that another person has become independent in the same family, and that's less financial weight on me, and then that means that person also will be able to help the next one. So I was noticing that this mind, which we're saying now we are free, yes, Uhuru, but I love also the song which went not yet Uhuru. I'm not too sure if it was Miriam Makeba was saying that. I loved that song up to today. I remember I used to hear it when I was young, which was saying there are some of us, she used to sing it in Zulu, saying bakhona abanye bagithi abathi khona sikhululekile. And there are some of us who are saying we are free. Then she argues that when I look around, I'm seeing it's not yet Uhuru. We are not yet free, and I choose to agree with her. Why? Because even up to now, we're still a continent which is failing to even be free from the thought that we need some form of help, from elsewhere outside of ourselves, in order to actually make it, as a continent. It becomes a sad scenario that up to now we believe it's somewhere out there that our help is coming from. And yet the truth of the matter is that it's us who need to actually choose the pathway of healing, even of our mindsets. Yes, because healing is not only, yes, the mindsets need to change, because what trauma does, like I've been talking about in previous weeks, is that it alters how you think, how the belief system that gets your belief system gets distorted, so that it now leans towards trauma. It now leans towards disadvantageous scenarios. That's how we explain even how someone, like I was talking about our great icon, how she moved from an abusive family into the hands of an abusive man, because that's all she knew. The same with someone who refuses to, who chooses to still have a mind that thinks only in line with what they went through. The law of attraction says you attract who you are, not who you desire. I hope we actually know that, a lot of us will be like, I want them kind and generous, and what? You need to become what you desire. That means if you're unhealed, you are going to continue to draw people who are also having issues of their own. And that combination really brings to more trauma and more, abuse, more bruising of your emotions, of your mind again. And that's how we continue to carry forward the pain that we refuse to heal. It's called trauma bonding. Yeah, because we're saying it's only what you know that you'll be able to accept and embrace. Meaning, when you choose to heal, as you resolve the pain and the mindsets, and you choose to start to believe the best of the world, because you're actively addressing those that pain, those emotions that have been in your body for too long. You are going to a higher level in terms of what you believe. It becomes you improving yourself. That means even the people you will draw to you will become people who are, healthier in their mindsets, in their belief systems, like that. So this is my encouragement. I decided I wasn't going to stay here long. This is my encouragement to us as individuals, and to the next person, even in our mother Africa especially, it is, I always you know, pray for an Africa that has the liberty to just, you know, share, you know, from our abundance, because really Africa is rich, you know. All the bird song, I really, I'm a person who loves bird song. That's why I actually got to get a song that's a whole, I don't know, is it 18 or so minutes of just bird song, so that it becomes my background, you know, sound on these live videos, because I just love how birds are just singing and free like that. The freedom that we see from our birds, even from the water, the abundant bodies of water in Africa, the abundance we have, we need to be enjoying that. But it starts with the healing of what we've believed about ourselves as Africa. What have we told ourselves? Why have we continued to feel like we are weak and we're always in need of help? Like, the example of the help I always describe is like, say for example, like the sister I used. Say for example, I've helped her to go to school, right? And now she wants to advance, she wants to go to degree, to masters and whatever. But I got her to help her maybe up to diploma level, and she got a job. That's an example. And then she's working. Then she still comes back and starts to, you know, ask for school fees. I'm like, but you now have money. Then she's like, oh no, the money I have, you know, it needs to pay rent, and I need to buy clothes every month and shoes. And you know, it's even sounding ridiculous. I couldn't even continue. You see, it sounds ridiculous, because you'll be thinking, no, now that she's working, she needs to know how to, you know, budget her monies in, so that she fits in the school fees for whatever advancement she wants to do. Is that right? But then imagine if she refuses to rise up to a place where she can now even develop herself further and help someone else also, like she was helped. It's the same we're doing as the whole of Africa. You know, we have failed to heal from a mind that is tied with chains, that says you are weak, you cannot do things yourself, you know, you need, you know, this kind of pathway to walk. And then we even take it down to our own children. I've seen people who worked, say this person is a farm worker, and they just send their children the basic education. Even if the children are intelligent, they take this child maybe only up to grade 7, and then they even ask their employer, please employ my son, so that when I retire, they'll remain here on the farm. That means the father here has not even thought of how, because their son is intelligent, they may even do something better than what they've been doing as a farm worker. Not to remove anything from what the father has done, but we are saying, hi Princess Barbie, my tete, thank you for showing up here. So I was saying, instead of this father thinking that because my son is intelligent, let me educate him even up to diploma, so that he gets maybe a job in the city, you know, they don't even think beyond what they know. That's what someone who's not healed does. You can never believe beyond what you know. You can never even desire beyond what you know. Like the trauma bonding I'm talking about. I'm saying, yeah, happy Africa Freedom Day to you too, Princess Barbie. So I was saying, if you refuse to heal, the trauma bonding will still cause for you to reach out for the people with the potential to abuse you, and will actually do that. Why? Because all you know is abuse. Probably, maybe, say for example, you grew up in a home where you just saw your mother being beaten and you hated your father for it. Guess what? You will marry a man that beats you up. Why? It's not a curse. A lot of us in Africa also want to rush to believe, oh, we want to pray against the spirit of abusive husbands. We, you know that mindset. It's not a bad thing to pray. Remember, I've always said I'm an ardent Bible-believing person. But we are saying, when you don't heal, you are remaining in the same place of abuse. Why? Because that's all you know. That's how your mind has been wired. You think to be loved is to be beaten. There's someone who once hurt me so much with a statement. They were saying, they were telling me, you know, their friend they were going out with, it's a lady. She was telling me this. She's like, my boyfriend, when I'm late for you know, dates, he beats me up. He tells me who to talk to. He says, I cannot talk to you. I will not allow you to talk this. And they were still only dating at the time. Imagine. And then I was asking her, why are you allowing him to beat you up? You know what she said? She was like, he'll be disciplining me. Yeah, that was my reaction. I'm actually, you know, reliving it right now. I'm like, you are saying a boyfriend is beating you up and you are saying is to discipline you. Imagine. But probably she may have seen her mother going through the same until it became ingrained in her that love is equated to being beaten by your husband when you do wrong. Why? To show that he loves me. That's what she said. When he's beating me up, it shows he loves me. Yeah, you know, Princess Barbie, why allow a boyfriend to beat you? But yeah, that's what happens when someone does not heal from a traumatic experience that they know. It could be watching, you know, your mother being abused or your father even. Yeah, there are some of us women, we have, you know, our mouths are like asps, you know. We have the venom of asps. We call them what? Wasps. Some of them call them wasps. Eh? We sting with our words, you know. And then I grow up, I'm praised, I'm all pretty and what. But the moment I'm in a relationship, I'm now, you know, saying the worst things to my person. You know, I believe to show we say, hey, he should respect me, so I will show him. How? By dressing him down with my words. And then I wonder why my relationships don't last. You see why? Because I saw my mother abusing my father with her words. I now thought it was the right thing to do. But if I choose to heal, I'll get to, you know, resolve the trauma of what I experienced in that home, right? And I get to now know you don't need to show your person anything. When you're upset, you just tell them, oh, this has really, you know, rubbed me up the wrong way, in a respectful manner. Because you've grown out of the trauma that you have known. So we are saying, on this Africa Freedom Day, may we get freedom from the chains in our minds. Because that's the greatest prison a lot of us are in. It's not even, you know, we don't even need those physical chains because they're all in our head. As individuals, because what I know is that when one individual chooses to heal and influences other 5 or 10 as we go, eventually those 10 people in you know, influence their 10, and you will see a whole nation, a whole continent getting to be eventually free from the mindset that has kept us prisoner for too long. You know, it's in pursuing healing of what we think about ourselves that we will truly become free as individuals, as nations, even as continents. So happy Africa Freedom Day, my beautiful Africa. Lots of love from me here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers.